Welcome to the NFL 2025-2026 NFL futures and projected team totals predictions for the upcoming season. The season kicks off Thursday, September 4, with the Dallas Cowboys playing the Philadelphia Eagles. But you know how we do it here. We predict every single projected win totals for every single team in the NFL before the season starts and see how we do. So first, let's take a look at how we did back in 2024. 32 teams, 32 games. You can check it out on the channel here on City Dice Sports, as well from last year. 19-13 record from 2024. Positive record from last year, 68% from 2024. So let's see how we do in 2025. We're going to get right into it, and we're going to actually set this up going division by division, and we're going to do it for all 32 teams, and we're also going to see how quickly we can also get this done as well. So we're going to start from the AFC East, the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo Bills are currently projected at over or under 11.5 wins this year for 2024. They did go over this in 2024. Josh Allen, MVP last year as well in the regular season. What do I think? Over 11.5, 1.60 minus 1.67 American odds. I think the Buffalo Bills go over in 2025. So not much to add here. They did go over that last year. I don't think they got any worse. There's continuity in that team. Their offensive coordinator, Brady, actually second year on the job, so the offense should just be just as good. There's Josh Allen. Not much else to say about that. The Buffalo Bills are pretty good. Also, the division is bad. New York Jets, Miami Dolphins, New England Patriots. You can see that they would be able to dominate that division, win that division, I would say comfortably, and go over 11.5 wins in 2025. The Miami Dolphins. So the Miami Dolphins coming into this season, a kind of interesting season for the Miami Dolphins. They're projected over under 7.5, 1.9, or 1.9 for the season. And I would say Miami Dolphins go under. Quick thought process here. The coach is under fire. Mike McDonald, Tua Tagovailoa cannot stay healthy. Tyreek Hill had a poor year last year. That defense looks pretty bad, and I don't think they're going to be much better in 2025. 7 wins. That's because I don't think Tua is going to be healthy all year. If he's healthy, there's a chance they go over, but I'm going to be sticking with under 7.5 for the Miami Dolphins. Next, New York Jets. They're projected at over under 5.5 wins, or 1.64 to the over. And here I'm going to be going over. Quick thought process for that. Justin Fields is the quarterback this year. Aaron Rodgers last year was a really bad season. Thought they would do better. Probably my worst pick out of last year, going over, but they did woefully go under the total in 2024. Here, I think they're going to go over. Justin Fields is going to be able to make plays with his feet and also with his arms, not as much, but with his feet. Is going to be a dynamic offense for the New York Jets. Their defense is pretty good. Got Sauce Gardner signed. Garrett Wilson, the star wide receiver, signed as well. Aaron Glenn coming over from Detroit. The New York Jets are going to win over 5 games. Are they going to make the playoffs? That's not what this is about. They're going to win over 5 games in 2025. Next, New England Patriots, over under set at 7.5. I say they go over 7.5 out of 1.6, minus 166 on there for the New England Patriots. Thought process, they're a much better team this year. They spent a lot of money in free agency to improve the defense. Mike Vrabel, former Tennessee Titans coach, who had significant amount of success in Tennessee with Ryan Tannehill and the defense, and Derrick Henry running the ball. I think he comes into New England here with a rookie running back, Trevion Henderson. Drake May having a decent year last year, and they win over 7.5 games in 2025. So that would be it for the AFC East. And next to the AFC North, we're going to start with the Ravens, over under set at 11.5. I like this. It's simple, over 5, 1.76. The understanding would be that the Baltimore Ravens is going to be pretty good in the regular season. We're going to be waiting for what they do in the playoffs. That's what they're going to be judged by. The defense is stacked. The offense is stacked. Derrick Henry is back. Lamar Jackson is excellent. I expect them to go over 11.5 wins, which they actually did last season in 2024. The Pittsburgh Steelers, over under 7.5, 1.52, kind of brought it down a little bit. Plus money on the over 8.5, but I like over 7.5. Tomlin hasn't had a losing season yet in the NFL. I think this year it's going to be pretty close. Even if he doesn't go over 8 wins and get to 9, he would be close to it, and he will be around 8 wins. So I like over 7.5 for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Aaron Rodgers is there. That offense might be a little bit better. He's old, might need the offensive line to do better, but you know, a Mike Tomlin-led team, this is a Mike Tomlin wager basically for the upcoming season. The Cincinnati Bengals next, over under 9.5. I said they go over 9.5 out of 1.86, minus 116 American odds. The Cincinnati Bengals offense is pretty good. I think they get to 10 wins this season. There's an urgency with the Bengals to make sure they start well. As long as they start the season pretty well, last year they had 9 wins, they should be able to get to 10 wins. That offense is really good. The defense is a disaster, but that doesn't mean you can get to 10 wins. 10-7 would still be a pretty good record. I said Cincinnati Bengals go over 9.5 wins to 10 wins. When you have Cleveland Browns in your division, you can afford to do that. And finally, in the AFC, not the Cleveland Browns, over under 4.5. I said they go under plus 2.25 odds for the Cleveland Browns. What else can I say? The Browns are going to have a long season. They're not going to win a lot of games. They're going to be among the worst teams in the NFL with the New Orleans Saints. They're not going to win more than 4 games, and their division is pretty stacked. All 3 other teams in that division could actually make the playoffs. So I say under 4.5. Feel very strongly about the Browns being a really bad team. That offense with Joe Flacco, there's nothing much there. The receiver room, there, nothing much in the Browns, even with their run game. There's not much to count home. Their defense is pretty good, might not be enough to get them over 4 wins. And now we're going to go to the AFC South. We're going to start with the Houston Texans, over under 9.5 plus 105. I say the Houston Texans go over 9.5 wins in a pretty average division. The Houston Texans, in my opinion, are the best team in the AFC South, and they go over 9.5 to win that division as well. They need to win 10 games. They did win 10 games last year. I do think they actually can win 10 games here. Their defense would be the best in this division and probably one of the best defenses in all of the NFL. Their offense is going to struggle a lot. Their running game is not going to be so great, but I expect them with their defense to get over 10 wins and win the division in the AFC South. Next is in Indianapolis Colts, over under 7.5. I said they go over plus 105 out of 2.05. The Indianapolis Colts are not going to be necessarily be a very good team this year, but they're going to go over 7.5 wins. They're going to win 8-9 games this season. Daniel Jones would give them a better chance to win, not in an explosive way, but just enough to win. The defense would be all right. Offensive line would be good. Run game with Jonathan Taylor is going to be there. So I expect the Indianapolis Colts in a bad division to be able to get 8 wins this season. Jacksonville Jaguars, over under 7.5, 1.76 odd. I said the Jacksonville Jaguars go over, getting Liam Cohen as the head coach from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to come coach Trevor Lawrence. I think they're going to be better this year offensively. Defensively, maybe not a whole lot better. They still probably struggle defensively, but enough to win 8 or more games this season in the NFL. And finally, in the AFC South, gonna go to the Tennessee Titans, over under 5.5 out of 1.64. I say they go over here. Cam Ward, the number 1 overall pick in the NFL draft. You don't get picked number 1 if your team was pretty good. So this team is not great, but I think he's good enough. Looking at what Jaden Daniels was able to do for Washington, he is not Jaden Daniels, but he's better than what they had. Number 1 overall pick Cam Ward comes in here with a good offensive line, an improved defense. I would say they win over 5 games. Winning over 5 games don't mean you're a good team. It just means you were able to win 6 games out of 17 games in a season. But I think the Tennessee Titans goes over 5.5 in the 2025-2026 season. That takes us over to the AFC West with the Kansas City Chiefs, over under 11.5. I say under 11.5 for the Kansas City Chiefs. And you know I don't say that with any excitement, but I think they flirted a lot with close games. I think this year they would still be a winning team. They will be above 500, but they don't get to 11 wins. All right, they don't get to 12 wins. They get to 11 or less wins in the 2025 season. That might be a little hot take there, but I like the Kansas City Chiefs not to win 12 games in a division that I consider very, very difficult. The LA Chargers, I think, are going to be better with more continuity. We're going to get there. And also the Denver Broncos. We're going to go next to the LA Chargers. I probably gave this up, but the LA Chargers over under 9.5. I said they go over. More continuity with Jim Harbaugh. They're going to run the ball. They're going to play good defense. They're not going to make a lot of coaching mistakes. As a team for the LA Chargers, I say they win 10 games in a really tough division. The Denver Broncos over under 9. I say they go over 9 as well. In a very tough division, their defense is going to be a top 5 defense. They're going to carry that. Bo Nix is going to play all right. And Sean Payton in the second year would win 10 or more games. So I do like the Denver Broncos over 9.5. The Las Vegas Raiders, bringing in Pete Carroll as head coach, bringing in Geno Smith as the quarterback. Over under 6.5 wins, 1.68, or American minus 147. I say the Las Vegas Raiders go over 6 wins. So that means they win 7 or more games. They might not be a really good team, but they're going to win 7 or more games. Pete Carroll, I don't see how that team wins under 7 games. Very possible in a very, very, very tough division, but I think they will be able to compete. They always play the teams in their division tough anyway. 7 games, I think that level of experience with Pete Carroll as the head coach, they should be able to get it in the AFC West. And now to the NFC, we're going to start with the NFC East. So we're going to start with the Philadelphia Eagles, the defending Super Bowl champions, over under set at 10.5. I said they go over out of 1.62. American odds minus 161. You put 161, you make $100 back for the course of the season. So the Philadelphia Eagles, I would say they took a step back defensively, losing 2 very important defenders, Josh Sweat and Milton Williams in free agency. But this team is still loaded. Offensive line is still good. Jalen Hurts is still the quarterback. Saquon Barkley got an extension and is still back. The defensive coordinator is still Vic Fangio. So I say they win over 10 games in 2025 regular season. The Washington Commanders is next, set at over under 9.5. I say over. The quarterback is Jaden Daniels. I like that. Cliff Kingsbury as offensive coordinator. They signed Terry McLaurin to a deal, brought in Deebo Samuel from the San Francisco 49ers. Offense is still going to be pretty good defensively. They should be an improvement. Second year under Dan Quinn as the head coach. So that defense should be improved. I say the Washington Commanders go over 9.5 wins. The Dallas Cowboys are set at over under 7.5. I said they don't win more than 7 games. So 7-10 or less for the season. The Dallas Cowboys just lost Micah Parsons in a trade to the Green Bay Packers. That's a negative for the Cowboys. It's a positive for the Green Bay Packers. I say the Dallas Cowboys do not win more than 7 games. Offense is going to be good. Dak Prescott is going to come back, hopefully be healthy all year. They got George Pickens on offense, but losing Micah Parsons defensively on a defense that was actually really bad last year and even worse against the run. Dallas Cowboys under 0.5. The New York Giants, I would say over 5.5 wins out of 1.75, minus 135. American odds. For me, this is all about the defensive line for the New York Giants. I said they win 6 games or more. They don't have to make the playoffs. They just have to win 6 games or more in the 2025 regular season. And I say the New York Giants actually do that. With Russell Wilson as the quarterback, there's going to be better quarterback play. I would say Jameis Winston is backup. Probably better quarterback play than last season as well in the backup position for the New York Giants. Brian Daboll and the general manager on the hot seat this season. They got to produce a result. I think they actually do here. Malik Neighbors is going to officially be a superstar wide receiver in the NFL in his 2nd season out of LSU. So I think the New York Giants are going to be pretty good here. They're going to win 6 games. That defensive line is going to be amazing. Brian Bonds, Kevin Thibodeau, Dexter Lawrence, and Abdul Kader, the number 3 overall pick in the 2025 NFL draft. And now to the NFC North, we're going to start with the Detroit Lions over under 10 wins. I said the Detroit Lions win less than 10, actually less than 11 games in 2025. So here over under 10, they're going to win less than 10.5, less than 11 wins in this 2025 season. Detroit Lions, we all know, pretty good team, but they're going to lose. On here, they've lost their offensive coordinator, they've lost their defensive coordinator to head coaching positions. That's a little too much to actually deal with. Offense is still going to be pretty good. I don't think the defense is going to be great. Aiden Hutchinson is going to be back from injury. How well is he going to be coming back from such a devastating injury in 2024? I think the Detroit Lions take a step back in general, losing your offensive coordinator and your defensive coordinator around Glenn gone. And Ben Johnson, the offensive coordinator last season, now with the Chicago Bears. I think that's a little too much for the Detroit Lions to deal with, and they win just under 11. 10-7, still a good season, probably make the playoffs, still don't win 11 games in 2025. Minnesota Vikings, over under 8.5. I said they go over 8.5. This was a team that won well over 10 games last year, what made the playoffs, actually 14 games, made the playoffs in 2024 as the second in the division to the Detroit Lions, but still a really, really good team. Brian Flores, defensive coordinator. Kevin O'Connell, absolutely great play caller, with JJ McCarthy here in his second season, but his first season actually starting. I say the Minnesota Vikings win over 8 games in 2025. That roster is loaded offensively and defensively as well. Next, the Green Bay Packers, over under 10.5. I say they go comfortably over 10.5 out of 2.05 plus money on here for the Green Bay Packers. Jordan Love presumably is healthier this season than he was last year, so that would actually be a plus. They still won 11 games last year. I remember games that they actually won with Malik Willis as the quarterback for that team. The coach for this team, Matt LaFleur, excellent head coach in my opinion. The defense now better with Micah Parsons. So I love everything about the Green Bay Packers here, winning 11 games or more in 2025. Finally, for the NFC North, Chicago Bears, projected wins over under 7.5. I said they go over 7.5. Ben Johnson is going to be the coach here, coming from Detroit. Try to get the Chicago Bears offense going. Offensively, they might be very average. Offensively, they're going to take a step forward. Offensive line rebuilt should be better for the 2025 season. I'm not saying they make the playoffs. I don't think necessarily that's the case. That's a very tough division with Minnesota, Green Bay, and Detroit. But win 8 games, that is what I think that they would do in the first season for Ben Johnson, and the second season for number 1 overall pick in 2024, Caleb Williams. Now we're going to go to the NFC South, and we're going to start with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Projected win total over under 9.5. I say they go over. This is a really bad division, I would say. So the Tampa Bay Buccaneers with continuity under Todd Bowles, Baker Mayfield, and probably one of the top 5 offenses last year in the NFL. I say they're still good enough. Lost the offensive coordinator, Leon Cohen, so that would be a problem for this team. But to win 10 games in a division with the New Orleans Saints and the Carolina Panthers, I like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to win 10 games in 2025. The Atlanta Falcons, projected win total over under 7.5. I say they go over. I think this team is going to be better slightly than last year. Michael Penix Jr. is going to be the starting quarterback entering into the season. Their defense got a few players in there to improve their defense, which was really bad last year. Offensively, they're going to keep ticking with the second-year quarterback Michael Penix, Bijan Robinson, and Drake London leading that offense. Offensive line a little hurt with the right tackle. Caleb McGarry out for an extended period of time. I think they actually get 8 or more wins in a really bad division in the NFC South. And next is the Carolina Panthers, over under 7.5. Bryce Young is still the quarterback, and I'll go the under 7.5 for the Carolina Panthers in the 2025 season. I know Bryce Young is going to be the quarterback all season. Dave Canellis, the head coach for this team, played a little better at the end of last season, went 2-4. I don't think this team wins more than 7 games anyway. I say under 7.5 projected win totals for the Carolina Panthers. And next would be the New Orleans Saints, a little too much, over under 4.5. I don't think they win 3 games. If they win 3 games, that might be a good season for this team. So I say under 4.5 plus 110 for the New Orleans Saints. I don't think there's much to say there. Spencer Rattler is the starting quarterback for the New Orleans Saints. Offense is probably not going to be anything to write home about. Defense, not great either as well. So, the New Orleans Saints and the Cleveland Browns are the 2 teams that are probably going to be the worst teams in the NFL in the 2025 season. And now to the NFC East, starting with the Los Angeles Rams that won this division last year, over under 9.5. I would always go over with the Rams. It's because Sean McVay is the coach of the Rams. Matthew Stafford dealing with a back issue, that's a concern. But I would say with Sean McVay, I like the Los Angeles Rams going over 9 wins and getting double-digit wins, 10 or more wins in the 2025 season on there. For them, Jared Verse, the defensive player, probably gonna be future defensive player of the year. You got Jared Verse on there. You got Kobe Turner, defensive tackle, pretty good for the LA Rams. Offensively, if my Stafford is any healthy, this would be, in my opinion, an easy one to get to 10. Well, maybe not easy, but it should get to 10 wins. If he's not, makes it a little bit difficult, but Sean McVay is a pretty good coach. So I do like the Rams to win 10 games. Seattle Seahawks, projected win over 7.5. Easy over for me. This was one of my better picks last year that I actually loved. They got to 10 wins. I think they get to about 10 wins as well. Mike McDonald, the head coach, second year in, that defense is going to be good or even better in the second year. Bringing in Sam Darnold, I don't like that too much, but I think they're going to get enough offense and their defense to be able to win 8 or more games in the 2025 season. The Arizona Cardinals, over under 8.5, set a little bit high for me, but I'm also high on the Arizona Cardinals. This team played hard for their manager last season. I think they come in here, win 9 or more games in the 2025 season. Defensively, they got improved second year for Marvin Harrison Jr. Connection with Kyler Murray. I think that offense would be a little bit better. Trey McBride, the tight end, played really well last season. You also got James Conner, the running back, on there. So I think Arizona are going to win some of those games they lost by narrow margins in 2024 and go over 8 wins. They win 9 or more games in the 2025 season. And finally, the NFC West, the San Francisco 49ers. This was one of my better picks last year. I picked them to go under. The injury risk, this team plays really hard. They always have an injury risk to them. But for the 2025 season, I say they go over. They signed Brock Purdy, 50 million plus. High salary cap number. I don't like it in the playoffs, but for the regular season and the easiest schedule in the NFL going into the season for the San Francisco 49ers, I say they go over 10 wins in the 2025 season. That's because Kyle Shanahan is a pretty good coach. The offensive scheme is excellent. Robert Saleh is back as the defensive coordinator, so that defense is going to be improved from last year, and they win over 10 games. Hopefully, Christian McCaffrey stays healthy as well. A lot of injury concerns going into every season with this team has something to do with how hard that they play. So that would be the full season totals for the NFL, all 32 teams in the NFL. But just as a teaser, something I love to do here, 5 bold NFL futures and team wins. I'm going to run through this quickly, plus money as well. I think the Baltimore Ravens win 14 or more games in the season out of 6. Take that. Baltimore Ravens are going to roll through teams in the NFL. Going to get those 2 wins against Cleveland in their division and just roll Pittsburgh probably. Cincinnati defense wouldn't be able to stop them. This Baltimore Ravens team loses only 3 games or less in the season, and you get plus 500 for the Baltimore Ravens. I love the Green Bay Packers that they win 13 or more games this season. Jordan Love stays healthy, and Micah Parsons comes in and adds to that really good defense here. I say the Green Bay Packers win 13 games plus 400. The Seattle Seahawks win over 10 games. That means 11 or more games in the second season for Mike McDonald. Odd of plus 400. We just need one of this to go through and we are good for the season. Cleveland Browns suck. I don't think they win. If you can find 2 under 2.5, still value for that, but I'd say they win 3 or less games in the 2025 season, plus 230. And the New Orleans Saints, another team I think that's horrible. If you can find under 2.5, very, very possible, but under 3.5, they don't win 4 games, plus 180 for the New Orleans Saints under. So those would be the 5 bold NFL futures and team wins, and just get plus money on that. So those will be predictions or the projected wins over under NFL futures for the 2025 season. Don't forget, if you like the content, check out all the content on the CT Live Sports channel. My name is CT. Peace.